Do you have a data question that can't be answered with just one dataset? Are you looking for new ways to combine K-12 and higher education data? I'm NJ Reese with the Education to Career Research and Data Hub, and today we'll be joining two datasets to create a map with Data Studio. In this example, we'll combine public post-secondary institution locations with early college participation data to explore where high school students are participating in early college programs. Start by creating a new report in Google's Data Studio, formerly known as Looker Studio. To import the data, I like to use the JSON partner connector from Windsor.ai, but you can connect however you prefer, or check out our video on using our API. We can add data from multiple sources. Find the public post-secondary institution locations dataset in the E2C Hub and click Export in the top right-hand corner. Then select API Endpoint and SODA2 so that you can copy the URL. We'll bring this link back to Data Studio, paste it in, and add it to our report. To add another dataset, just click Add Data, and we'll repeat the process of using the JSON partner connector, finding the early college participation dataset in the E2C Hub, and clicking to export it. This time, we see a warning that this dataset has more than the default limit of 1,000 rows of data. We can still click SODA2 and copy it, and when we get back to Data Studio, we can modify the default limit by adding a little bit of code to the end of the URL. $, limit equals 10,000. This makes sure we get all the data we need up to 10,000 rows, not just the first 1,000 rows. Let's rename each of our data sources to stay organized. Find the pencil icon to edit the data source. We can call this one DAG Locations, and the DESI data will be early college participation. There are a lot of options for types of visualizations, but today we'll be making a bubble map. Click and drag to fill the space in your report. We can adjust the exact size later. At first, it will say that we have an invalid dimension because we haven't given it the right information to make the map, like the location data. Under Data Source, select the DAG Locations dataset. Now the map is making a guess for what to show, but this isn't right yet. It's using the segment data, but we want to use the latitude and longitude. First, we need to combine latitude and longitude into one field of location data. To do this, we can add a field and select Add Calculated Field to combine the latitude and longitude data. The field name can be latitude, longitude, and the field ID is usually abbreviated, something like lat_long. The formula is just concat, open parentheses, latitude, comma, quotes, comma, space quotes, comma, longitude, close parentheses. Check your spelling and punctuation, click Save, click Done, and it will appear on the right-hand side with the other fields in the data. Now we can blend our data. Click Blend, and then Add a Blend. Starting with the DAG Locations data, we can choose which dimensions and metrics we want to use for our blend. As a general rule of thumb, dimensions are more qualitative categories of information like the CEEB code. CEEB, CEEB, stands for College Entrance Examination Board, and these codes uniquely identify each higher education institution. DESI data has district codes, DIST codes, for each school district, and organization codes, org codes, for each organization or school. You don't have to memorize or worry about the exact numerical codes. They're just a system to make sure we can reliably connect datasets together correctly, even if there are slight differences in the spelling or capitalization of a school, district, college, or university. Even though CEEB codes are technically a number, we're using them as a dimension in our visualization, not a metric we're measuring. We can also add the institution name, our new latitude-longitude field, and the segment, meaning whether it's a community college, state university, or UMass campus. None of the information in the DAG Locations dataset is actually a metric in this example. We aren't measuring anything about the locations, we're just using that data as dimensions for our map to know where to put the bubbles. If we want the bubbles to represent the amount of students attending each location, we need to join another table to add the early college participation information. In this case, we'll use a dimension of CEEB code, along with the student group and school year, and use the metric of all count, all_CNT. If you want, you could use metrics of the grade level counts. You can always come back and edit your blend if you change your mind later about what you want to include. To finish up, we configure the join. The default is a left outer join, which is exactly what we want, and Data Studio automatically notices that the CEEB code field is repeated in both tables and makes sense as a merge condition. For more complicated blends, you can add multiple fields, but we'll keep this one simple. Click to save the merge configuration, save your blend, and click to close it. Now we can go back to our bubble map setup, choose our blended dataset as the source, and drag the latitude-longitude calculated field over as the location. Click on the ABC icon to change the data type from text to a geographic location. Choose latitude-longitude from the options. You can also update the display name to say location. Now the map is showing the locations of all of our public higher education institutions in Massachusetts. To show their names at each bubble on the map, set the institution name as the tooltip. It's good practice to rename the display names with capital letters to stay organized. Now when you hover over a location bubble on the map, it tells you the name of the institution, like Salem State University. Let's use the number of students as our metric for the size of the bubbles. This is found in the all count, all_CNT field. We can also color the bubbles based on their segment of the public higher education system, community college, state university, or UMass campus. Right now, the chart is summing all the data in a way that might be tricky to interpret. Let's make some room next to our map for some filters. Click to add a control like a drop-down list. Make sure the data source is set to our blended data, and then we can choose a control field of SY for this school year and set it to 2024 by default. If it automatically puts in a metric like the CEEB code, you can just click the X to remove that. We can also add a control, another drop-down menu, for our blended data, using the student group, and set the default selection to all students. The student group control makes the most sense with the style set to single select to avoid double counting. Go back and clean up the control field names and give your map a title. Use the Style menu to customize your map's background layers, bubble colors, map controls, legend fonts, and more. There. Now you can click View to see the number of high school students participating in early college programs at colleges and universities across the state. Remember, you can use the drop-down menus to filter for other school years or student groups of interest. What valuable visuals will you create? Get started with the E2C Hub.